Well, welcome to another video from Lockdown Electronics with me, Bill, and this time we've got part 2 of the Cossor 524 Melody Maker restoration. We've got it hooked up to the Variac with current limiting, so let's go and join the action. Okay, we've got the Cossor 524 connected up to the Variac through the dim bulb for current limiting. I've currently got the Variac set at about 50 volts. I'm just going to switch on and see if I get any kind of response. Just very gingerly, I'll switch it off very quickly if there is a problem. So it's gone a little bit brighter but then dropped back off, but there seems to be a great deal of change there, so I'm going to just ease the Variac up a little bit. It's about 70 volts now, and I've got a dial light in there, so that's the start. Come up to about 100 volts there and just see if I can hear anything. Nothing very obvious, just going to move the tuner along. No, very quiet. Okay, let's risk a little bit more power. That's about 150 volts, and the bulb's brightened a bit, but to be honest, it's not. We have life. A little bit of crackling. That's about 200 volts now. So I'm just going to try moving the tuner about. So yeah, you almost certainly can't hear it on camera, but very, very faint hum, so it's very obvious that it's switched on. What I assume is the rectifier valve's quite warm, as is the output valve. These three valves, that's definitely warm. These two, a little bit harder to tell, can't really tell from the FM circuit, but we've obviously got something functioning. So I think next job is to whip her out of the case and see if we can find where the signal stops. But altogether a good start, so I'm pleased with this as my little 4-band project. Okay, we are back again with the chassis of the Cossor 534, and you remember from the first look there was clearly some components needed replacing. I brought it up on a Variac and I couldn't hear anything particularly, so I've decided I'd had a few components arrive today, so I thought I'd replace the electrolytics and one or two of the waxes, which were easy to get to. Also a couple of the larger wattage resistors came too. So before I actually did any swapping at all, I got the clamp meter attached to the supply here, measured the voltage across the transformer, did the maths, and at 235 volts it was drawing about 75 watts. I've changed out 5 electrolytics and 2 of the waxes at the moment. There's 1 or 2 more to do, and if I fire up there, you can probably just about see the dial lights lit up there. This is on full mains voltage and it's now drawing, according to the clamp meter, about 0.27 amps, which if you do the maths is about 68 watts, something like that. So changing those capacitors has obviously reduced the drain. There's no question they needed replacing. This 25 microfarad electrolytic actually is date coded August 55. The twin 32 microfarad can, which is actually mounted on top of the chassis, that was also dated, got a date of 1955 on it. The new replacement one is much smaller, and I was going to put it in its position on top, but I've actually plenty of room underneath, so I've actually got it mounted here. So what I'm now going to do is turn the volume up, and just not sure what band we're on, but I'm hoping she might come to life. There's no aerial attached at the moment, just the chassis here, and that's the aerial. So that's a shortwave, I imagine, but the stations aren't. I would expect a bit of English to be being spoken if it was medium wave. So yeah, there we are. So she lives, which is very good. I'm just going to see if I can change the wave band. I've not got a knob on the band switch, so it's difficult to do. I'm no idea which band that is, and no, clearly not. That clearly isn't a band with anything on it. We'll just try another. Right, I better move off that, or I'm going to get YouTube on my case for copyright. So I would say that was medium wave.
And this is called Van Drop.
So, very pleased about that, and just looking at current drain. When they, yeah, it's drawing just about steady 0.3 amps. Doesn't change much with the incoming signal. So that's a good result. Still got a few more components to come that I'm going to replace, but we're in business. Well, here we are again with the Cossor 524 Melody Maker, and you might recall from previous video, which actually was shot day before, that I'd got it working on VHF and also on shortwave, but there was nothing happening on medium wave and long wave, which is obviously a little bit odd, because if obviously with VHF the FM side is working on the 10.7 meg IF, and on shortwave the 470 or whatever it is, 465 kilohertz IF is working on the AM side. So I realised it was something daft, and it occurred to me, having had a quick glance at the circuit diagram, that actually there was a bit of the circuit missing. Inside the case, which I'd left in there, is this ferrite rod antenna with a 4-pin plug and three wires. And when I looked, it's actually part of the circuit, not surprisingly. In fact, there are the yellow, green and brown wire colours. So yep, that was the problem. So I've plugged that in now, got it set up here, got it warmed up. So I'm on long wave, and if I just turn some volume up, so that's long wave, and that's absolutely fine. There won't be very much on long wave in the daytime here, but that's radio 4 and 198 kilohertz. So and then onto medium wave, and plenty going on medium wave as ever.
Talent, Jamariki. She's learning from the best. She trains in Laura Muir. You know, I saw the two of them on the Saturday morning after the Monaco meet. The two of them doing their training strides and stretches.
So that's all good. One of the things I have done on the tone control, there's a capacitor just here. Where's it gone? There. That's the C49, and I've no idea what it was originally, as the outer covering is completely gone. But on the circuit it's 10 nanofarads, so I've replaced that, and the tone control is much stronger. You go from a deep to a bright sound a great deal better than you did before, so that's another improvement. I've replaced a couple of the resistors around the output pentode, which I'd got. I'm still waiting for some quarter watt resistors to come. So that's medium wave. If we drop onto short wave, if I can find, so there is plenty about on shortwave. So that's shortwave, and finally onto FM. I better quickly move through this music or YouTube will be onto me for copyright. I think there's a voice station up here somewhere.
Notions of masculinity. Do the two things go hand in hand?
So
yes, absolutely.
So this is Radio 4 on.
I'm aware of this probably partly as
so you probably can't hear it on the mic on here, but that's the bassy end of the tone.
Masculinity damage hit men, and particularly young men.
And if I come up there, it really brightens it up.
And that was
so that's all good. Interesting thing about this radio was, having read up a little bit about it, FM transmissions in the UK started in 1956, the year after this radio was made, and apparently the BBC had been encouraging people to start adding the VHF band to their radios. That's actually this section here. It even looks a bit like a bolt-on, with just this double triode and a 10.7 meg IF. The really wacky thing about this is that tuning is accomplished by variable inductors. There's a big usual twin gang variable capacitor here for AM, but here those two lines work two slugs which are held in position by springs, and they've moved backwards and forwards through coils in there, which tunes the VHF oscillator and the VHF front end. So it's got VHF from about 88 to 100 megahertz. The VHF band in the UK goes up to 108 megahertz now. But at the time it was only just over 10 megahertz wide, but most of the there's plenty of stations between 88 and 100 to listen to. So I'm pleased with that. I've made a start on cleaning the case. That was in good condition but very grubby, so that's had a good scrub. I'm going to need to replace this white card so that you can see the dial glass easily. I am going to get a signal generator into it and try and sharpen up the IF, but to be quite honest, it's actually doing pretty well as it is, and I don't want to create problems that aren't already there, but I will just check it and see if I can improve it. But that's for another bit of a video. So good progress on the Cossor 524. Okay, well that's it for part 2 of the Cossor 524 Melody Maker restoration, and it's looking good. Very pleased with progress, so hopefully next time we'll start to see some real progress towards some kind of finish. Need to do some work on the case, so that's going to be next, and still got a few components to come which I need to replace, but she's sounding good. If you've liked the video, please click the thumbs up. If not, you can click the thumbs down. Would be great if you could subscribe, and I'll put some links down below for some Cossor resources that you can have a look at, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.